Perhaps the last question that was asked by many was this: what role does good judgment and inspiration play in aiding leaders, individuals, and families in determining how they improve their Sabbath day observance?
That's the number one role I think we all want to have, is the blessing of revelation, the blessing of having the Spirit of the Lord with us and moving according to the promptings that we have of the Spirit. But you also have to try to build and strengthen your ability to think in such a way that is sound, and we don't get imposing things that are not going to touch the heart and not going to accomplish the purpose of trying to strengthen people's faith. Strengthening people's faith, it takes inspiration, and it comes instantly. We've had wonderful examples of that, just this training we've had. And good judgment as to how to move forward with those promptings.
I think earlier in the week, President Eyring made a comment about that if we're going to have a delight, and we have meetings all day long, that it's going to be hard for the leaders to have a delightful Sabbath, and to use good judgment about having meetings short and only those that are necessary, and to keep the administrative part of the church as limited as it can be, so that all of the people in the church, including those who are in leadership positions, are able to partake of the delight of the Sabbath. But it's going to require judgment. It's going to require effort to do that.
I think we can be effective on the administrative side without dedicating huge amounts of time there, and the ward council that we've talked about earlier can really carry most of the load. If we bring there the things we need to consider, to decide, to think through, to receive inspiration and revelation about, almost all of our matters get resolved in that setting. There needs to be a bishopric meeting, and maybe you add on a person or two here or there for a particular item in the agenda, but between those two meetings, you have covered almost all of it, I think.
Covered most of it, yeah. Please.
I was just thinking about using good judgment in terms of good, better, and best. I think for the most part, members of the church really are trying to do good. But if we think about, is this the best way I could do it? Is this what the Lord would have me do? It changes things, just like you were mentioning that way. So there's a lot of good things we can do, but there might be a better way of doing it, and really focusing on what matters most could be the best.
One thing for sure, the most important thing we can all do is try to do the best we can. And we ought to feel happy about doing the best we can. And we recognize that none of us are perfect. We're all trying to get there, but we're going to learn along the way, and it's a wonderful thing to be taught and to share and to have the experiences of growing spiritually under the tutelage of those who love you, parents, priesthood leaders, sister leaders. I think of the primary president when I was a deacon, just before I was going to be ordained a deacon, getting us to memorize the Articles of Faith. She had a lot of patience with me. I can still see her. She had white hair, Sister Snow, and for some reason, I had a hard time memorizing, so she had me over to her house. But I finally was able to do it. That's the kind of leadership, and that's the kind of outreach that we all hope will result as we have been trying to teach these principles.
Elder Ballard, that thought about doing the best you can triggers in me an experience that happened just recently. I attended the World Meeting of Families in Philadelphia last month, and in a presentation I had with me there two member families, great families from that area, talking about family prayer, home evening, scripture study together, family council. And they were very real, very authentic about their experiences and the challenges they face. And And that's what came through to people in the audience. They were doing the best they can. They weren't perfect. They didn't claim to be perfect, but they were doing the best they could. And that resonated with people there. And they saw the benefit long term over time of that happening. And they asked a lot of questions in the audience, or asked several questions and wanted to know how you do this. And coming back to the Sabbath, they said, that is our day, and that's the day we dedicate to the Lord, and that makes all the rest possible. That was a revelation to a lot of people, and they were firm about that. That made the difference. That was a foundational element in their family life and in their individual lives.